Morning, everyone. My name is Jaco de Jager. I'm the CEO of the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners, and I want to introduce you to today's chair, being Leilani du Plessis, who works for the Africa Training Academy and sits behind the successful completion of so many of you who passed your exams. So I will be formally handing over to Leilani, who's also the facilitator of today. Thank you, Leilani.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Jaco. Welcome, everyone, to our first virtual graduation ceremony for our SARS group, class of 2020. To those of you that do not know me, I'm Leilani du Plessis from the Africa Training Academy, and I'm the Training and Development Officer. First of all, I want to start with thanking Jaco for your support over the last year and for supporting the Africa Training Academy on our journey with SARS. When we started our journey, we had no idea what was coming our way. We were privileged enough to meet personally in a pre-COVID world and plan ahead. Little did we know that all our plans would have to change. When COVID came, we had to adjust in more ways than one. But with the support of you, Jaco, SARS, and each SARS employees that are now CFEs, we successfully trained 49 SARS employees. So thank you. I just quickly want to go through the program with you. We will have our top achiever saying something, and then we'll also have a message from SARS. And then afterwards, we'll do the slideshow of the graduation. So if I can continue, I would also like to thank and commend SARS for granting your employees the opportunity to do this course, to upskill themselves and to show that SARS realizes the importance of the Certified Fraud Examiner credential in the workplace. We hope that your organization will benefit from this training. Jaco, you can, I think you can proceed on your end with let's start with your piece. Thank you.
It's a privilege of being here today. I want to again thank SARS for making it possible for so many to professionalize and to become part of a bigger picture and to be recognized internationally. One can only do combating of fraud through professionalization of your organization. And I put together quickly a short presentation just to take you through what the ACFE is all about, as an introduction to those who is attending, as well as to just tell you what and why this is a day to commemorate as for the top achievers. So the ACFE is an international organization. We are represented in more than 188 countries with more than 85,000 people internationally. We are fraud fighters. We are also registered locally as fraud fighters, fraud examiners, with a mission to reduce the incident of fraud and white-collar crime through prevention, education, and the ability to join forces. As one of our strong points is that we are multidisciplinary. Fraud is not only like in the old days that you go to a normal set of books and you go through the books and you detect fraud that way and you look for things like manipulation of writing, etc. It's now much more complicated with cell phones involved, computers involved, and so much more. The reason for having a professional body is to look at and safeguard public interest. So we also need to look at the profession and the organization. Now we can assist the organizations to be proactive in combating fraud. Our responsibility to the public is by far the most needed by professional bodies. That's why SAQA, the South African Qualification Authority, revised the National the NQF Act, National Qualifications Framework Act, Now, formally registering your professional bodies and putting certain obligations on them to safeguard the profession as well as the public. There's so many people out there claiming to be professionals in specific areas. For instance, you don't really want to get a plumber to operate on you when you needed brain surgery, do you? So there's specific professions and professional bodies that regulate that profession. The benefits of belonging to a professional body, well, it helps to establish legitimacy when you start off in the field. It's especially true for those whose contractors out there. For organizations, it's important to employ CFEs, as well as when they want to contract in specialists to contract in CFEs, because they are regulated. Then you also have certain expectations that you can hold them accountable for, in ensuring that they do the best that can be expected for a professional in their specific field of expertise. Being a member of a professional organization carries a degree of respectability when applying for jobs and presenting credentials to clients. 8 reasons for belonging to a professional body. And by becoming a CFE, SARS ensured that all their staff who passed is automatic now members of the ACFE. Well, you get professional recognition. So recognition in more than 188 countries, like we said. You get a recognized designation. Once you pass, and those who passed here, there's a database for specialists to be uploaded onto SAQA's NLRD. That's their professional database, where you will also find your doctors, your advocates, your chartered accountants, internal auditors, who achieved to become your real professionals. Your CFEs is uploaded on there. So if someone wants to find out when going to testify in court or wherever, whether you're really a professional and recognized, they can go to the database and they can pull your details now from there. You are regulated and you need to abide by a code of ethics professional standards. There's continuous skills development that need to take place. And so in doing that, we ensure that our members maintain a minimum of 20 hours CPE, continuous professional education throughout the year, which is also accepted by other professions, such as your internal auditors, Institute of Directors, chartered accountants, SAICA, SAIPA, and many more. Because of the overlap in skill sets needed, more and more people are asking for, did you look for fraud? What can we do to prevent fraud when even doing a normal audit or accounting exercise? Ample networking opportunities. We'll speak about the other chapters a little bit later. But there's 256 chapters around the world. So if you struggle with something and you need assistance in other countries, the opportunities is there. We've got more than 13,500 members only in South Africa. And the South African chapter also administers 8 other countries in Africa. So fraud is no more just a small entity or kept within borders. It's a cross-border business, $1 billion rand business taking place, and we need to be able to network with others. Ample career opportunities, mentoring takes place, and you become an industry leader. There's other benefits as well, which we will now be sharing with those who have passed. And I again want to congratulate you, and I want to ask you to please make use of things like the profiling database that you can use for detecting fraudsters, other savings that you can make use of. And I want to also talk a little bit about the CFE, just for those who, when I say CFE, so you understand what it entails. Now, CFE is a person that sits with a unique set of skills that are not found in any other career field. They combine knowledge in complex financial transactions with an understanding of investigative technical law, and how to resolve allegations of fraud. Those who earn the CFE credential demonstrate expertise in fraud prevention, detection, and investigation. Something that you don't find in other professions. You'll find that in some professions, they only look at whether there was fraud committed or whether there was how to prevent fraud from being perpetrated within your organization. Now, again, you sit here with a multidisciplinary and skilled person that looks at all aspects of fraud within your organization. And they are committed to continuing professional training and education. Fraud examiners also trained to understand not only how a fraud occurs, but why. A sought after skill in South Africa, and around the world. We registered the forensic accountant and fraud examiner as a critical skill, also as a formal occupation, the occupational framework, and it has been sought after credential throughout Africa, with others also wanting to come to South Africa and get employment here, and vice versa. Our members wanting to go across border to other countries, Europe or wherever. The ACFE has a database of jobs available. For CFEs, there's roughly 256 pages full of jobs where they currently ask specifically for the CFE designation. So again, showing it's a sought after profession. We joined forces with other professional bodies and also created a template for businesses so that they can really look at their risk management internally. And a draft was already completed on the endorsement and the commitment towards professionalization within organizations. SARS is way ahead of the rest, I can assure you, and we're very glad to announce that, as they have already started with the process to get a certain percentage as recommended by the professional bodies, and now supported by the presidency to get professionals within different government departments at certain levels, 25% to hold professional designations, junior management, 50% at mid-management, and director and executive 75%. This is to ensure that companies really get to employ people that know what they're doing, minimize the risk of the organization, be efficient, professional, and can be held accountable for the position that they hold. Going back to the people who passed, they had to complete 4 exams consisting of financial transactions, law, investigations, and fraud deterrence. Now, fraud deterrence consists of criminology, ethics, and risk management. Again, bringing the whole thing back of people need to understand why people want to commit fraud. They need to know where to go and look for fraud. They need to also implement strategies to prevent fraud within the organizations. Little statistics, the average organization loses up to 5% of their gross revenue due to fraud. So go and do your calculations, what's happening within your organization. If they're not able to prevent that from leaving the organization, you need to ask, am I employing the right people? Am I employing enough staff with the relevant with skills? And am I really supporting this specific critical department within my organization so that they can have the best tools and assistance to do what they need to do in order to safeguard our organization? Your fraud examiner is also now listed by King 4 as one of your assurance pillars to prevent fraud from occurring, and also helping you to get to a point where you can mitigate your risks. How to become a CFE? These people had to write the exams, it's international exams, and they had to obtain a minimum of 75% for each and every module, each and every exam. You cannot become a CFE if you fail one. So again, I want to applaud everyone who passed for successfully passing this exam. It's a stringent exam, and it's on an NQF level 7, which is a full B degree, giving them now also the opportunity to go and do their honors qualification through the Africa Training Academy at NQF 8. Our material is used by various universities. It's compiled internationally by various universities, organizations, government entities like your FBI, CIA, Royal Canadian Police, Harvard. They are all involved in the compilation of this. And it's also used by universities like UNISA, UP, University of Pretoria, and many more. so that they can incorporate it within their curriculum. I want to end, there's 2 slides left. I want to end by a narrative that I got from one of our speakers at one of our previous conferences, who said the following: one evening, an old Cherokee told his grandson about a battle that goes on inside people. He said, "My son, the battle is between 2 wolves inside of us. The one is evil, which is driven by anger, envy, jealousy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. The other is by good. It is driven by joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith." The grandson asked, which wolf wins within the person? And the Cherokee said, the one you feed. Well, this is something that I can say I've seen in all our CFEs. There's a passion for learning more. There's a passion for doing the right thing. There's a passion for driving fraud awareness and getting others to do the right thing. And I hope to see these CFEs who passed today, well, they already passed, but who's receiving their graduation today, excel by far. And a lot of cases being opened by them. In Africa, we've got all these chapters. South Africa is also in there. And we work closely together. I spoke about the networking opportunity. I want to, again, ask everyone to take note of our virtual conference coming up, 13 to 15 September. I look forward to having you there, seeing you there. At that space, we have 1,000+ people coming together, talking about fraud, how to prevent what's happening internationally. We've got international speakers. Look forward to seeing you there. If you've got any questions about today, you're more than welcome to email us or contact us. Nelly is waiting for you at membership@acfesa.co.za. You can also talk to Lelani and the team at training@africata.co.za. It's an honor having all of you here today. It's an honor congratulating all of you for passing the exam. You stand out above the rest. And I look forward to meeting you in person one of these days. Once all this COVID things is gone, and seeing you at our events and seeing you make a difference. From my side, Lailani, thank you very much for everything Africata has done for the ACFE and for these CFEs.
Thank you, Jaco. Okay, so to proceed, even though we were faced with many challenges and we had to do all of our training virtually, which presented technological difficulties, you have all made it to this point. You are all certified fraud examiners. Well done and good luck with your fight against fraud. So before I announce our next speaker, I wanted to end with a quote by Mark Twain. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. And I want you to take that with you. Up next is one of your own. We are pleased to announce the top achiever of this class, as awarded by the ACFE International, Denise Luke. Denise Luke, congratulations on this wonderful achievement. We appreciate your hard work. The stage is yours. I'm gonna, you can unmute yourself and then you, oh, hi, there you are. Thanks.
Good morning, distinguished guests and colleagues. I am humbled to be able to share a few thoughts with you. I would like to take this opportunity to thank SARS for allowing me the privilege to do the CFE program, the ACFE Academy South African chapter, and Africa Training Academy for making the course possible and for their continued support. A hearty congratulations to my fellow colleagues and now certified fraud examiners. In the words of C.S. Lewis, hardships prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. You have all conquered and have made it through the most unprecedented of times the world has ever seen, and I commend you all for that. My CFE journey, like any other, had its high and low points. I have learned that it's imperative that you are able to forge through the challenges. In saying that, the course in its entirety has widened my knowledge immeasurably and expanded my insight on all fraud-related issues. It sparked interest learning about these related facets that made the course relevant and exciting. This also kept me motivated to not give up. I am confident that being a CFE will enable us all to be more effective, proactive, and forward-thinking. These skills are invaluable to making a difference and being part of the change that we want to see. It is an honor to be part of the ACFE. To all the newly qualified CFEs, may you always be fueled with passion to do right and fight against unlawful acts as we raise the standard for protecting our citizens and country against perpetrators. Go out and be extraordinary in whatever you do and wherever you are placed. It is in you. Thank you again, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Denise. Up next, I want to introduce Ms. Habiba Logday on behalf of SARS. She has been with South African Revenue Services for 23 years, of which 10 years in the SARS criminal investigations portfolio. She's currently a head of Department for Criminal Investigations Division in SARS. She holds a portfolio of chairperson of Enforcement Committee. She's also a member of the South African Personal Protective Equipment Fusion Hub, an integrated multidisciplinary task force, which is made up by the following: the Hawks, SIU, AFU, and FIC to combat fraud and corruption in procurement of PPEs. Welcome, Ms. Logday. The stage is yours.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for this opportunity to represent SARS and the Commissioner. If I may start off by welcoming the SARS Institute of Learning, all the SARS CFE graduates, ladies and gentlemen who did not do the CFE course, and of course, Mr. De Jager and representatives from the Training Academy. Welcome to all of you. The Commissioner is unfortunately, as I said, not available and has asked me to relay congratulations to the colleagues that have passed the CFE. As said, my name is Habiba Logday. I head up criminal investigations, and we also have links into other connected enforcement bodies, as she's mentioned earlier, and notably NPA, AFU, and partners, SIU partners. So we are completely attuned and aligned to what fraud is doing to our country and how it is ravaging our country. But let me start off by saying that we at SARS, we are committed to a higher purpose, which is to enable government to build a capable state that is able to foster economic growth and social development so that we can serve the whole of South Africa. Our legal mandate is set out in law, which in a nutshell entails the collection of tax revenues, and also to ensure that we have a culture of taxpayer compliance and to facilitate trade across the borders. So colleagues on the CFE, perhaps if we could maybe just tailor it to SARS a little bit more, and if we can look at the 9 strategic objectives of the organization and embed that as a first departure. So on the issue of the 9 strategic objectives, I would have liked to ask some of our CFEs if they are in tune with what strategic objective 3 is, but I don't think we have too much time for that, so I'll just jump ahead. SARS has articulated its position quite clearly with regard to its 9 strategic objectives, but there's one specifically that speaks to the enforcement family, and that is what I would like our CFEs to focus on as well, and that is to detect taxpayers and traders who do not comply and to make it hard and costly for those who also don't comply. So it speaks to taxpayer and traders who negligently, deliberately, and aggressively stay out of the tax system and, and they're not detected. They will need to experience the full response that is appropriate to the nature and the degree of their non-compliance, and where necessary, hard enforcement needs to include court action, asset seizure, criminal prosecution, and for these individuals who subscribe to fraudulent activities, I think the important thing is that we need to make the cost for them high and severe. And to that extent, that's where CI fits in. And we should use the opportunities I think that we have at our disposal, both civil and criminal, to ensure that we highlight who these individuals are and we make examples of them so that there's a pattern that we are known for and that SARS is known for. So to that extent, where the CFEs come in, it is to highlight what we can do as an organization, and we need to put certain people behind bars, and where your expertise is going to come in. The second objective, that strategic objective that is also acutely aligned to this course, is the strategic objective 4, which speaks to developing a high-performing, diverse, agile, and engaged and evolved workforce. So here we are asking that our employees collaborate to leverage off their combined strengths, and for SARS to invest in them also appropriately by providing them the right tools to do the job and to enable them to respond to future demands of the work environment with ease and confidence, and dare I say a very fair amount of professional cynicism and skepticism that we want to have in our environment. So how do we effectively deliver on our mandate and to achieve objectives? How do we do that? I think these are dependent on quite a few key factors. One of the things that I can comfortably share with you, having read through a significant amount of CI reports, I think 377, if I'm not mistaken, colleagues. So what I can share with you is, for us to do what we need to do appropriately, we're going to have to increase and enhance our technical competency. Not only that, the law is there for everybody to go and read up. And I think what makes us a distinctive force is when we're able to read the law but apply it appropriately. And those are also some of the tools that we require. Best investigative practices and methods we need to conduct our investigations having regard to what happens around us in order to produce a complete court-ready criminal investigation case docket that conforms to the highest of investigative standards that the NPA requires. So the NPA has, in certain of our areas, nollied a few of our cases, and they allege that the quality is not enough for them to proceed. That is something that we need to acknowledge, and that is something that we need to reverse almost immediately, because it lends itself to a waste in terms of the PFMA, that we have put money aside in terms of our investigations, and yet when we hand these over, they are not court ready. I've read through some dockets of late, and I see our people tell us, I speak about CI now, and I am acutely aware that there are other colleagues from enforcement here, but it lends itself to the others as well. I read from some of our investigators who would make comments like, we need to hand over to SAPS and the NPA to further investigate. So colleagues, we cannot have that. We are the investigative tools that SARS is going to use, whether it is investigative audit, whether it is debt management, whether it is legal or CI. It is for us to finalize our products to in such an extent that it is capable of taking it further. The NPA is capable of taking it further. So what today, if I may just step from this issue and say, we need to ask the CFEs that have graduated today, firstly, to acknowledge them and to applaud them for the hard work that they've put in. But now to say, how is it that we're going to look at the CFEs that we have, and how is this going to ultimately benefit? I've heard Jaco say earlier that I don't know if Jaco was intending to offer jobs to our people. Jaco, please don't do that. I noted that you said that that our colleagues have become very viable in terms of their onward mobility, but we still need them in SARS to fight the good fight. So with that in mind, I would like to say, how is it that we're going to take the course that you have done and finalized, and how do we embed that in the respective disciplines in SARS in order to get what SARS also wants, and that is to make it hard and costly for taxpayers and traders who are just absolutely not compliant. So as I go ahead, as an organization, an investigative authority, we are also acutely aware that South Africa as a whole has been ravaged by corruption and fraud. The PPE tender corruption is one of the biggest things that we've seen in the most recent past, and it's still continuing. People that don't have ideal tax numbers, that don't have tax numbers, that are not on register, they've been getting awards for PPE, and the question needs to be asked, how is this happening? So we play a huge role. And we also have noticed the judicial commissions of inquiry. We've seen all this information coming through. So we have an excess of information that we can work with. The question that I'm asking our CFEs is, how do we bed this down? How do we take it forward? In most cases, we are aware that there are indicators of money laundering having occurred. The NPA is very keen to pursue the issues of money laundering, but that is not within our mandate. So we have to contort our cases in order to align somewhat to that, but not completely, because SARS mandate is always going to be the collection of taxes and revenue. And we need to safeguard our mandate with absolute clarity. So we can support other agencies, but the SARS mandate is the strongest one. So as we were saying, that we're grateful for the role that the ACFE and members play in combating the scourge and that ravages our society. And we're also grateful for the contribution that we can make towards the objectives by offering our investigators this opportunity. And as Jaco said, it's internationally accredited. But again, my issue is that I would like for us as an organization to take the learnings from the CFEs and work through with that. I've said before that I can bear testimony to the fact that professionalism needs to be evident in everything that we do. I've had the privilege of reviewing a lot of the cases, and I think there's significant amounts of things that we can improve upon. So I'm going to be calling on our CFEs to take that forward. I'd like to take an opportunity to acknowledge some of our CFEs. Obviously, uh, as the head of CI, I'm of shouldn't I'm representing the commissioner, I forget, but I'm also here representing CI. So I'm exceptionally proud of our investigators that have finalized the course. And if I may just be given an opportunity, Chair and Jaco, just to share some of the anecdotes that our graduates gave through during this period. One person has said, my studies towards being accredited by ACFE International as a fraud examiner is relevant to my job description. The syllabus covered during my studies what I covered during my studies, I can relate these to my daily work activities. I'm now more knowledgeable about the various types of fraud, and from the initiation of successful fraud investigation to its finality. I'm also acutely aware of investigative techniques, law of evidence, and the adherence to the professional code of conduct. My achievement will bring harmony to my work output, and the maintenance of the CFE status will ensure one's continuous learning. That was from one of our CFEs. Another one has said the course was very detailed. It covered many topics such as fraud detection, fraud investigation, law, and financial transactions. Each of these topics outlined the most possible ways in which perpetrators could engage in various crimes and the most common guidelines as to how such crimes could be identified. The topics provide further details of how multiple countries apply their laws to address various crimes and the laws that were found to be uniformly applied in different countries. Um, Again, as I said, I've got significant ones here. Another colleague said, as an ACFE member, I'm now more exposed to the latest international trends of various crimes and the modern ways in which such crimes are being tackled. With this in mind, I'm better positioned to advise SARS on potential tax loopholes and how this can be closed. That to me is one of the most potent outcomes and anecdotes of the CFE, because that is what we need. We want the CFEs to be able to advise us on how we can close these loopholes. Um, we as an organization, we're exceptionally proud of our colleagues who have finalized this. I sit in an office where there are colleagues that have done the course and that have finalized it. They're not part of the ceremony. They did the one in the previous years. And I know it's exceptionally hard work, and it requires an exceptional amount of dedication to do your day job and to finalize the CFE course. So I can only but applaud you for the significant achievement that you've made. I'm also especially proud of one of our own colleagues, and that is Sandra Fourie, who attained the 2020 ACF, I think is at the Top Achiever Award. And in her own words, in a time where our country and our economy is increasingly weighed down by fraud and corruption, we as criminal investigators are increasingly challenged in court. It will be to the benefit of every investigator and SARS as a whole to empower themselves. Sandra, I absolutely and utterly support what you have said. And also on this forum, I'd like to take the opportunity to single you out for the amazing work that I have seen come from you. When I read your reports and when I see your report, it takes me through a journey of the start and it takes me right to the end. It's so clear what you are writing. And the one good thing that I do, what I can confirm with you is when I read through your work, I learn. And that to me is an important thing. And it shows me that we've turned a corner in that. In a time when SARS is rising to new challenges and shifting our focus to more and more sophisticated crimes against the fiscus and ultimately the people of South Africa, we look forward to exploring more opportunities in upskilling our investigators and auditors and everybody in the enforcement family, so that we have a pool of ready technical skills and honed professionalism that I think our CFEs can give us. So colleagues, on behalf of the Commissioner and myself and everybody on this call, I see Neo is here. I'm sure some of Godfrey's people are here and Desiree's. So congratulations to all of you for this magnificent achievement. We look forward to seeing great things from you. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you, Habiba. We will now proceed with the graduation video to let you all know that we are aware of the certificates from the ACFE International that's still outstanding. We did confirm with the ACFE and they did advise that they will send it to us. So we'll hopefully receive it within the next 2 weeks. But we have all the graduates are on the video. If you don't have a photo, it means that for security reasons, you were not allowed to send us a photo. So please enjoy the video that was put together.
everyone, and congratulations again to each and every one of you. I can also support Habiba's discussion and what she stated against or on Sandra Fourie. So well done to Sandra for achieving the South African Top Achiever Award for the 2020. That means she excelled all other candidates who wrote the exams last year. If I remember, there was close to 253 who wrote the exams. So being number one of all, well done. Then I want to end off by also saying that this could never have been possible, well, without SARS, but there's individuals within SARS who stand out. Well, management number one for recognizing the ACFE and the skill sets needs and what the CFE can do for the organization. Again, Habiba, I support what you said there. I want to actually go further and say that the request for people to go the extra mile to do the investigations and to increase your prosecutions by having factual information to go after the fraudsters now sits within your CFEs. And I expect and I hope to see with the next graduation that you come back and you share the achievements of some of these CFEs, as I do believe that they can play the role. They've got the skills and they will be able to deal with the requests posed by you. Some of the common mistakes people make is to say that I'm sitting in a specific industry and it does not overlap with other professions. Well, I can tell you, and I think you know that as well, that we live in a global environment. So one fraud has a direct implication on other industries, like your banking industry, where people need to invest money or have bank accounts being opened fraudulently, or your insurance industry, where they need to use the various opportunities within your insurance industry for anti-money laundering or money laundering purposes. So CFEs got these skills, and I'm excited to see that your CFEs will have the opportunity to go further and do what is required. Habiba, I'm excited that SARS have taken this path. I want to congratulate for Shadrach Chowki as well. Shadrach has spent many hours making sure that we get colleagues to register, making sure that they write the exams. Him and his team has worked long hours to deal with the contracts and to make sure that people are able to write the exams. They meet the expectations. So well done to all of you. With that said, let us know how we can assist as a professional body to help you improve your staff and help you fight fraud. That's our number one goal. And I look forward to seeing all the CFEs listed, excel and success stories about them. From my side, Africa Training Academy, well done. You've achieved your goal. You've got the CFEs through. You've got professionals. Thank you very much, and I hope you all have a wonderful day and a blessed week further, and see you soon.